The Flypaper is a scary episode of Tales of the Unexpected, and probably the most terrifying thing you'll ever see on TV. It is about a girl on a bus who is accosted by a creepy old man. When the story begins, the police are dragging the marshes looking for a missing schoolgirl. The hunt is on for a 12-year-old Elaine Phillips. She has been missing from her home for 5 days, and police have issued another appeal today for any information that might help in the search for the Northwood schoolgirl. Elaine is slender and 5 feet tall, and she was wearing a school uniform of grey skirt and maroon blazer when she was last seen by her 2 classmates. The story centres around an 11-year-old girl named Sylvia. Ever since her parents died in a car crash, her life has taken a turn for the worse. She's quiet, sad and sullen, and can't stand living with her grandmother, who cares more about her roses than she does about Sylvia. One day when she's on her way home from piano lessons, Sylvia's noticed a strange man watching her. He gives her the creeps, and every time she looks over her shoulder, the man is there. Sylvia suspects he is following her, so she runs all the way home. When she gets back to the house, she tries to tell her grandmother about the man who was following her, but the old woman isn't interested. Never talk to strangers, her grandmother says. That's a basic rule for girls your age. But I wasn't talking to him, Sylvia protests. On TV, there's another news report about a missing girl. The body of Elaine Phillips, aged 12, has been found in the Northwoods marshes. Police and frogmen have been searching the area since Friday. Every Wednesday after school, Sylvia has to go to piano lessons. She feels trapped in her life. She doesn't have any friends in school. She hates church, and she hates piano lessons. She wishes she could be invisible, or maybe just disappear. On the bus, a man sits down opposite her. Sylvia thinks she recognises him. He's the man who's been following her the day before. The man attempts to strike up conversation with her. I believe I've seen you before, he says, wending your way either to or from a music lesson, I imagine. Sylvia puts her head down and tries to ignore him. I used to do that when I was a child, the man says. Make myself invisible, and goodbye nasty world. When the bus conductor comes to collect the fares, Sylvia pays for her ticket. The man buys a ticket for the same destination. Sylvia is disgusted when the man changes seats and sits down beside her. I'm very fond of children, you know, he says. I treat children on my own level. Another passenger, an old lady, sees that the man is bothering Sylvia and making her uncomfortable. The old lady shoots him a disapproving look and says, I know your sort. Sylvia gets off the bus 1 stop early to avoid the old man. She runs to a phone box intending to call the police, but the phone is out of order. All of a sudden she hears a dreaded voice behind her. Looking for some spare change? She spins around. It's the creepy old man from the bus. It's broken, Sylvia replies in a trembling voice. Oh, what a pity, the man giggles. The embarrassment she suffered on the bus gives way to terror. Go away or I'll scream, Sylvia warns. Just then, the old woman from the bus appears, and Sylvia is relieved to see her. She hits the old man with her umbrella. Be off with you, she shouts. Leave that little girl alone. The old man reluctantly leaves, muttering to himself. Didn't your mother ever warn you not to talk to strangers? The old woman asks sternly. She's dead, Sylvia replies. Oh, I'm sorry, says the old lady. Well, you can come with me. I think we ought to phone the police, don't you? I think the police will be very interested in what happened on the bus today. They start walking, and when Sylvia glances back, she sees a man standing in the distance glaring at them. The old woman brings Sylvia to her house and makes her a cup of tea. She tells the girl to put some biscuits on the table while she phones the police. Sylvia hears the front door opening. The old woman turns around and smiles. Hello, Herbert, she says. You're just in time. The tea's ready. Sylvia is horrified as the dreadful truth finally dawns on her. The old man locks the door. There's a roll of flypaper hanging in the window, with a few flies stuck to it. Aha, caught another one, he grins. It's the sweetness that attracts them, you see, and then the stickiness that prevents them getting away. As the old couple pull down the window blinds, Sylvia makes a desperate attempt to get away. The old man and woman grab her by the neck and shove her back into the chair. You haven't had your tea, they say with a smile. The flypaper will stick with you. It is an absolutely terrifying story. And the reason it stuck with me, and the reason it was so scary to me, is when I was a child growing up, there was many abductions and child murders in the early 80s in Britain. And the perpetrators never seemed to get caught. And it was only decades later, when DNA profiling and DNA evidence collecting got a lot better, that the people who committed these crimes in the early 80s were caught. But this is truly a shocking programme, and it must be seen, and in fact it should be shown in schools as a warning to children. If you do watch it, it will stick with you. I promise you that.